Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Inktober. So I'm following Desiree. You know my friend Desiree from Include a Thank You. I'm taking you through really quick her Podia website, which is a place where you can get behind the scenes instructions that are in addition to her YouTube channel. She has free tutorials in both places, and this month she's doing the Inktober Tangle, which is put on by Stephanie Jenifer, and it's just really cool. I've been always wanting to learn more Zentangle, and so I'm following the daily prompts, and I got myself some artist tiles from Amazon. The rest of these supplies I had in my stash. Just a Sharpie, a pencil, a hole punch, and then I have these fine liners. You guys, I've had these for like 4 years. Y'all have seen them. But you don't need them. You could use colored pencils, anything you want. But what I'm doing is I'm creating myself a Zentangle deck, kind of like a card deck, and I'm picking a few colors to illustrate the step outs because Zentangle is like organized, named, and a process of doodling, if you will. That's probably not the right way to describe it, but it's just kind of what I think of when I think of Zentangle. It's a very focused and calming art form, and I've just really been wanting to further my practice in it. So what I'm going to do is each day this month, Stephanie Jenifer has come up with a Zentangle, whether it was one that she designed or if it's from Zentangle Incorporated or another CZT, and there's a different tangle every day of the month. So I'm going to put a different tangle for each day on one of these little cards. And so the first day was this festoon, and I'm just going to do it real quick here. I certainly can't give you any instruction because I don't even know. I'm learning. So this is a journey. You're just coming along with me as I learn, but hang out here with me because I'm going to take this Zentangle right here, and I'm actually going to make a card. So I just wanted to show you how I'm learning and how I'm collecting these examples each day. So once I have it done, I'll punch a hole in it, and then I'm going to put it on this little ring, which I got from the Dollar Tree. You can get a whole pack of them for $1.25 in different sizes. And basically at the end of the month, I'll have 31 different tiles with 31 different tangles on it. So I went through and I was kind of getting caught up. So I did these over the weekend, actually on Sunday. And, I was just kind of getting caught up to the month. So I know it's October 7th now and we're 7 days in. Don't let that bother you. Start where you are. You can go back and catch the other tangles if you want. I definitely am enjoying the process so much. Now, I will say that sometimes I can follow the diagrams and do Zentangle, but other times there are a few tangles that I really need that extra instruction. And Desiree is doing a video every single day showing and instructing on how to do the tangles every single day on her Podia website. So that's why I wanted to show you that at the beginning of the video. So for today's tangle, I tried it 3 times and just could not figure it out from the diagrams, even though there were step outs and everything. And so I can't wait to see her video. It posts at noon Eastern every day, the new tangle post. And so I can't wait to see how to do today's because I honestly can't seem to figure it out on my own. But there are steps, and so I'm going to kind of show you why I had those pens out. See, I color coded my steps on the backs of these cards, and that way I can go back, follow the steps, and recreate these tangles. So this one here is a failed attempt at day 7. I have another failed attempt at day 7. I don't know. My brain's not braining on this one. So I can't wait to see Desiree's video, and it is free. Anybody can watch them. I'll leave a link to her Podia website down below. You don't have to have these artist cards. I did get them off Amazon. They were, I think, $6, but you can just use a journal. So, a sketchbook, you can Zentangle on anything, notebook paper. It doesn't have to be the Zentangle tiles. And I wanted to say, I actually really like to start practicing the tangle in a book. I have another book as well for my tangles. I need them on a bigger sheet of paper, because then I have enough room to kind of work it out and be more free with it, I think. So I definitely recommend going large, actually, when you're first practicing and learning these tangles, and then work down in scale and size as you get the hang of it. There you can see I'm working on these and chatting with Desiree on my phone at the same time. This was on Sunday, and I'm just practicing, and we're chatting, having a quick little conversation. And yeah, I just really feel like in the book, on a larger sheet of paper, it's a lot easier to practice these and to practice combinations. I feel like that's one thing that I know will come to me in time with more practice, but I never really know how to put everything together. Like which tangles to layer up together to create an overall image. So this was day 6 tangle, and now I'm going to add a few other things in here that I've learned this month so far. I really like this one, and you just keep practicing and practicing. And I'm not very exacting. That is something I could learn from this. And I've always struggled with symmetry. And I feel like Zentangle, if I really delve in and allow myself the time to practice this art form, that it's going to help me a little more with my symmetry. And I could really use some help with that. So, the other thing is that when you practice a new art form like this, you may be a card maker, you may be a journal maker, and you may think, I'm not an artist, I can't do this, but you can. And the thing about practicing something like this is that it carries over into all the other art forms that you do and to the other things that you do. You don't practice Zentangle just so that you can be better at Zentangle, but when you practice Zentangle, it helps you in other ways. Just like the year when I went through and did a lot of collage for the Marguerite Miller Collage Challenge. That made me a better card maker. So I encourage you, whether it's Zentangle or not, to pick up a practice and try new art forms, because you can carry them over into your favorite medium, your favorite format. If that's card making, awesome. So that's what we're going to do here today. We're making a card now. So I'm using that first Zentangle of the festoon, and I thought it really looked a lot like pinwheel flowers. And so I decided to just add a few leaves and a few stems and make a mixed media card. Now, it is October, and I am doing not necessarily Halloween, but just like I am doing some like grunge and oddities, curiosities kind of cards. I'm definitely in that vibe right now. So I've got some Lindy's Magicals here, which is just a pigment, a dried pigment that you sprinkle on your paper and then spray with water. So that's what I've had it on my desk. I'm really trying to use these up. They weren't my favorites. These are very powdered, and I actually like something a little more granular when it comes to like the pigment sprinkles. So I put that on and I thought, we're going to go dark. We're going to take this and we're going to go dark. The first thing I wanted to do though is do some purple pinwheel flowers. So I added some purple, went ahead and colored in a little bit of green for our stems here. And this is going to be layers on layers. So I'm trying to get that purple to spread now. And then I brought in some Distress Oxide spray. This is Rusty Hinge. I'm not going to worry too much about it going over those flowers because I'm going to keep layering on top of them. I went back in with more of this Magicals, and I was just looking for anything to scoop those up. So I used that key. Why not? I was trying to work quick while everything was wet. By the way, Stephanie Jenifer's Inktober comes in like a 25-page document, which is really cool. So you can get a copy of that when you go over to Desiree's Podia website. She has a link to it. You can download the PDF through Google and then print it out or just reference it on your phone or tablet. Here I'm just cleaning up that leftover ink and paint off of this silicone mat onto a book page, and I'm actually going to set that to the side, let it dry, and bring it back and use it for this card. I am using Canson XL watercolor paper, by the way, for this card, and this piece measures 4x6. I'll be making a 5x7 card. So now that that was completely dry, I went right back in with my purple again, and I'm going to punch up the purple and bring these flowers back to life. I wanted to leave this whole process in because it's important for you to see like how a background comes together and to see the layers of time and effort that it took to get here. It wasn't just like a real seamless process, but it was, a few steps. So once I had that, I decided while things were still a little bit wet, not too wet, I decided to splatter in this is a graphite watercolor palette from Kuretake. I decided to splatter some of that on. And then now I'm doing this really fun, I'm bringing in this really saturated graphite watercolor to the edges. And I'm putting it on the edge in a very concentrated way. And then I'm using my water bottle and spritzing it out. And I really like the distressed kind of feel that gives this piece and the drama that it brings. So I'm just painting on, again, a really saturated version of that watercolor and then spritzing it with my water bottle. And I'm letting that edge the piece. And automatically, look at the drama. So much drama. I spotted in a little more ink. This is just a P.H. Martin's ink. And let all of that dry. And now I went back in to outline everything and kind of bring the tangle, the festoon back into effect. I also decided to make the edges of the petals more spiky, kind of like an actual pinwheel flower. And at first I'm doing this with just my Sharpie fine tip marker. And then I'm going to decide that's great, but I actually want even more. So I will come back in and bring in a Sharpie and add even more of a stark contrast here. So yeah, I'm definitely going for October Halloweeny vibes here. I thought we could use a moment of silence. So there it is with just the fine tip marker. I have this silver marker from the Dollar Tree, and I colored in the, I believe those are the Musas. If I'm not, I might be mistaken. And now I just have a regular Sharpie, and I'm going back right over those same lines again. This is one of those things where, you know, when you're trimming something down, you trim a little at a time. Because if you take off too much, you know, you can't add it back on. Well, it's the same kind of thing when I'm drawing with these markers and doing this. It's like I first did the detail with a thinner tip, and then I decided, no, I want more, so I went in with a Sharpie. It might seem like double the work, but, you know, sometimes it's a gentler way before being fully committed to something. But I definitely like it with a Sharpie. I like it with the broader lines. And then I brought in these poses. You're going to see them quite a bit. I've been using them a lot lately. And I thought this lady was just kind of perfect the way she'd sit down there. And then I have this Halloween 2024 transparencies. They have like a shattered acetate, spider webs, and then these bat wings. And again, this is kind of like, you know, Halloween oddity, if you will. And I folded the bat wing in half, and I'm going to suspend them and separate them with foam tape because I really want, I want some separation there. And so I pop her up with foam tape as well. Now, I want to put this on a 5x7 card, so I'm going to use this book page, and I'm going to just kind of tear it down and make it my matting layer. I really like the music portion, and of course I'd love to keep in the book page and all that if I could, but it ended up being too long, so I have to trim it down a little shorter. I wasn't measuring as I went. I was just kind of leaving in the parts of the book page I really wanted to see as my priority. And now I'm just kind of eyeballing and getting that down. I'm going to use a glue stick and glue this book page down because it's kind of thin, and I really don't like glue lines on my cards. It's very much a pet peeve of mine. We'll work so hard on my cards, I really don't want you to see glue lines from when I put them together. So on thinner pages, I'll use, you know, a glue stick. And now I'm getting much closer. I did decide to bring in some photo corners and also distress the edges just a little bit. There's really, I didn't put any ink on this brush. It's just a dirty brown brush. And that gave me exactly what I wanted. So now I'm going to bring in these photo corners. They're adhesive photo corners, and stick those on there. I will add some glue to the back for good measure. I really like things to stick. So I'm going to add some glue here. And then stick this down. So actually this panel isn't even glued on, it's just held in by those photo corners. I found a sentiment from my stash. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. And I brought in some sari silk because I do like to finish off cards like these sometimes with a sari silk bow, and I loved this purple tying back into our pinwheel flowers. I really liked it flat like that, but I did decide to go ahead and tie it in a bow. And that piece on the right there, that checkered piece, you're going to see that come up in another card. I used it the same day on a different card. I just love that piece of sari silk. So I kind of straighten up my bow, get it where I want, and then I bring in a glue dot from Pear Blossom Press. I really like these big chunky glue dots that Amanda released with the new snap and spin, I believe is what they're called, mechanisms. Yeah, so I'm just going to hold my bow in place with that glue dot. And, I toyed with putting it on the inside, but no, that's meant for another card. So this is it for the most part, until I thought, hey, wait, what's she resting her arm on? And I decided she was resting her arm on a mushroom. So I did go to my stash and grabbed a stamp set of mushrooms. I'm showing you there the foam that I tucked in between those wings to really give them suspension. And then I also went in with my Sharpie and colored that foam so it was black and not white. So if it was turned to the edge, you wouldn't see the white piece of foam tape. So when I grabbed my mushroom stamp set from Tim Holtz, I also got these other stamps are included in it. So it's like a label, and that other one that I just stamped in the background was like figure 1, figure 2, 3 and 4, etc. And now I'm going to make myself just a whole bunch of labels. And it's like, why make one when you can just make a whole bunch? I'm stamping these on a scrap piece of that book page that we cut down. Well, we didn't really cut it. We tore it with our ruler, but now I have a whole heap of these labels that I can put into my ephemera box. So these are the tiny toadstools. In case you're wondering, there's also a large stamp set, same images, but they're just larger, from Stampers Anonymous. And the great thing about Stampers Anonymous is they don't retire their stamps, so you can still get these. I ended up just stamping those on an old book page as well, and I'm going to trim those out. I had not put any foam tape behind her arm, which is perfect. So now it'll be easy enough for me to tuck these toadstools behind her. So it's just kind of eyeballing before I do all the fussy cutting, and I end up fussy cutting these fully out, and then I separate them. And I'm going to have one down towards her knees and the other one just under her elbow. And she's going to be sitting in the toadstools, in like a little patch of toadstools. I don't even color these. I just don't even worry about it. Except for at the bottom of them, I did use a little bit of ink and also my Sharpie marker because I want them to really kind of blend into the background at the base. But otherwise, I did not color these images. I just stamped them with that Memento ink on an old book page and cut it out. And with these, I didn't have to worry so much about the glue lines because I'm going to smash it down, smooth it out in a way that I wouldn't have done with the big book page, or wouldn't have been able to do with the big book page. And here's where I added my detail. I hope you enjoyed this. Give Zentangle a try. I mean, this card wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been practicing. And, if I hadn't decided to pick up this challenge in day one, this is the first tangle, the festoon. And definitely go if you want instructions step by step and really good instruction. Desiree provides it. Her community is full of goodness. Masterboards, journaling, card making, Zentangle. She does it all over there. And it's very enriching and positive place to be. So I hope you'll check out her Podia. Again, I'll leave it linked down below, as well as her channel, where it's all the same thing: journals, cards, masterboards, mini albums, Zentangle. It's just so cool, you guys, and so inspirational. Putting the final touches on my card here. I know Halloween's not for everyone. Well, how about just creepy autumn vibes? Thanks so much for spending your time with me. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.